Hey, people. You're listening to Aid NPR. And today, we will be covering the rich and storied history of Caribbean folk music. With me in the background will be an ensemble of different Caribbean folk music as we unravel the rich tapestry that is what this wonderful, diverse island culture has to offer. A world that may have grown much larger, but certainly has never left them behind. I don't know, man. I'm just saying, NPR could do new thing. They could go in a new direction, you know? Maybe that's how we bring it back. We have them cover new and interesting time. It's a big, wide world out there, isn't it? So much to do, so much to see. So what's wrong with taking the back streets? That's what the great philosopher Smash Mouth once said, didn't he? I mean, come on. We got Spooky out here, spooking it up, as usual. Big Bad Mama, hitting that like button. Thank you very much. Everybody that's out there right now, if you enjoy the stream, make sure you do the same. Now, I have to say something about a certain person, a certain B.S. Lewis. You know, I put in the chat earlier that I was going to do a rant about him, but then I removed that comment. Not out of cowardice, not out of fear. No, nothing of that nature. I just wanted to leave that as a surprise for right here and right now. Because what does BS have to say on his little show? First ever live show I've ever seen him do, by the way. And from the looks of things on his channel, first ever live show, period. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But you know what he says? He leads with, oh, you know, Aiden freaking Linden has a channel, but you know, he doesn't ever read the side chat. I came to realize how important it is to read the side chat because, you know, I was saying all these crazy things over there in the side chat, and Aiden's just talking about, oh, communism this, oh, socialism that. And it's just like, you know what, BS? I'll give you this. You're the establishment right now. I'm always talking about the establishment on YouTube. I'm always talking, I know, Big Bad Mama, BS has a show. That'd be news to me, right? News to me. Hello, young Aiden. Well, hello, Spooky. Good to see you on the show. Good to see you as well, Deviant, as well as Claude. We got a whole big crowd of people coming in here today. Thanks very much. Are we talking about BS Lewis? Who else would we be talking about? Deviant Outcast. Don't see him anywhere in the chat right now. Oh, you don't ever read my comments, Aiden. Where are you right now, BS? Let's see you. Let's see you. I don't see you nowhere. But anyways, you're the establishment, BS. You're the person that's got this big channel, this big giant audience. And what do you do with it? You have the temerity to use that giant platform to shout out my platform and allow Missing Mod to come on and shout it out. No, seriously, though, in all seriousness, thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate the shout out. I appreciate you having Mod on and allowing her to do that as well. That was really cool of you guys. It's cool to see you doing live shows as well, BS. You were right the other day, you know? If I can do it, anyone can, right? I mean, come on. The homeless guy ranting out front of the 7-Eleven probably has more charisma than I do. I just called it charisma. Like it's caramel or something like that instead of charisma. I mean, what the hell are you 10 people out here just watching me right now? What are you doing? I don't know. You're certainly taking your time to watch me. I can appreciate that. Yes, Deviant, our good friend, BS. Well, you know what I say? I say that we start the first ever BS Aiden Linden debate. That's right, BS. I'm using this platform to challenge you to a debate. And I'll even let you pick the topic, BS. I'll let you pick the topic. It could be the most unfavorable thing towards me possible. And I'll tell you what, BS, I'll smoke you. So there you go, BS. I've laid down the gauntlet. We could do it on your channel. We could do it on my channel. It doesn't matter. We could do it either way. I'm here. Somebody out there, you let them know. We need somebody out there to go and deliver the message, because the gauntlet being laid down isn't even the start of it, let me tell you. No, in all seriousness. Aiden had me confused coming in mid his hateful brand of love rant. Hey, now. Not that predictable, am I? Come on now. I'm not that predictable. Oh, sweet. I'm just checking in right now. Shout out to the 6 people that like the stream. 6 people like, 9 people watching. Nice. I think I'm going to be opening up the panel pretty soon here. I do want to get some people in here, some new blood, so to speak. But in the meantime, I figured that I would dive into some of that socialist communist agenda real quick while I have the room all to myself. So that's just like notification to you 12 people. Holy shit, double digits. You 12 people out there watching right now. If you don't want to watch that shit, get. Because it's about to get real. Big Bad Mama, I'll give full credit for sharing this with me. Sent me a couple of shorts over the last few days. The hell was that little click there? I just clicked like a damn chipmunk. You ever get that? When you're like working the muscles in your mouth and then all of a sudden there's just like a little bit of tension there and it just like, what the hell was that? He's the best president in the last year. You know what, Phantom? I can't deny that. You forgot to look at the dislike, Dean. I don't even need to check the dislikes to know that you're already amongst them, Dean. Don't you worry about that. All right, I'm going to go get to playing this here short. Strap yourselves in. Thank you very much again, by the way, to Big Bad Mama, for sharing this my way. Let me just make sure I've got the right one. Here it is. I know, big surprise in terms of the subject matter, right, folks?
Carolyn, yesterday was the 5-year anniversary of January 6th. Democrats and mainstream media continue to push their big lie that it was an insurrection and that police officers died that day. The reality is that 4 Trump supporters died on January 6th and 2 women were killed by January 6th police. Everybody knows Ashley Babbitt was shot in cold blood by Capitol Police Officer Michael Byrd, but there was another woman. Her name was Roseanne Boylan from Georgia, and she was pepperballed, gassed, and ultimately brutally beaten with a stick by January 6th police officer Lila Morris. The Biden administration and mainstream media lied and told Americans Roseanne Boylan died of a drug overdose on Capitol steps. Her family is now asking for an investigation. Is the administration aware of the circumstances of her death, and will there be an investigation?
Well, for investigation, I will have to defer you to either the FBI or the Department of Justice, and I'm sorry to have to do that. But with respect to all of the facts that you just laid out, the White House relished the opportunity yesterday to actually create a new website to share the facts with the American public.
Carolyn, yesterday was the 5-year anniversary.
There we go. So there's the first clip. And you know, how compassionate of the White House to, in the face of somebody being murdered by police officer, or sorry, not a police officer, pardon me, a January 6th police officer. Because like I pointed out before, they're not going to use just the term police officer here. No. Because if they use the term police officer, then the mythos surrounding police, that they're just this objectively accurate force of godlike entities that are always going to be able to weigh in properly. You know, the most that you'll get out of these people in terms of criticism is, oh, well, you know, there's a few bad apples. There's a few of them that, you know, might get a little bit trigger happy and shoot somebody when they don't need to, or shoot somebody's dog, or, violates somebody's rights because they don't have an adequate understanding of the laws that they're meant to uphold as a servant of the public and ostensibly the Constitution at large. Like when it comes to this, it seems like the White House cares quite a bit. A reporter was from Lindell TV, the My Polu guy. I see. And I'm sure that, by the way, the person who's asking the question doesn't actually matter at all, because the White House, being a tool that doesn't just serve one particular party, it serves the American people, right? Doesn't it? Isn't that the classic narrative that's always provided? Yeah, the White House is controlled by one party or the other, but ultimately, My Pillow, got it. Sorry, big bad Posy. I didn't mean to mispronounce. But yeah, when it's this, right? When it's somebody that is on the right, then it's something that we need to be compassionate about. And when it's on the left, you think it would be the same, because ultimately, right and left, those things should be secondary to the idea of citizenry, right? At the end of the day, those people that were shot on January 6th, those are American citizens. The same way that Renee Nicole Good was an American citizen. So let's see what the White House had to say when the shooting death of Renee Nicole Good was brought to their attention recently. And just kind of compare and contrast a little bit.
Earlier, you were just defending ICE agents generally, and earlier on, Secretary Nolan.
Here, let me go back.
Earlier, you were just defending ICE agents generally, and earlier on, Secretary Nolan spoke to the media, and she said, among other things, that they are doing everything correctly. 32 people died in ICE custody last year. 170 US citizens were detained by ICE. How does that equate to them doing everything correctly?
Why was Renee Good unfortunately and tragically killed?
Are you asking me my opinion? Because an ICE agent acted recklessly and killed her unjustifiably.
Oh, okay. So you're a biased reporter with a left-wing opinion.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah, because you're a left-wing hack. You're not a reporter. You're posing in this room as a journalist. And it's so clear by the premise of your question. And you and the people in the media who have such biases but fake like you're a journalist, you shouldn't even be sitting in that seat. But you're pretending like you're a journalist, but you're a left-wing activist. And the question that you just raised and your answer proves your bias.
Like, what a fundamentally childish response, first and foremost. Like, the fact that it was a complete dodge of the actual question that was being asked aside. What a half-hearted attempt at just, oh, you're not credible because you're poopy and whatever you say bounces off of me and sticks to you. Actually, I'm rubber and you're glue. Like, that's just such a asinine response that doesn't get to the heart of anything that was being said right there. And it's so clear that this attempt to make the public aware that was being described in the previous clip, this like, oh, the White House is attempting to make public outreach. Isn't that funny? When they're trying to push their propaganda spin on things, when they've got a little thing up on their website describing things, then it's for the public. But then when a news reporter who's ostensibly reporting for the public comes and asks a question, then it's all of a sudden, oh, well, you're just a left-wing hack. She literally calls him a hack. And for what? Asking an accurate question, which was, hey, well, asking a question that had accurate statistics within it, I should say. And that question being, you say that ICE acted perfectly and justifiably, and yet here's this death toll and this laundry list of injustices. that are laid at the feet of your organization provably, how is that an example of acting justifiably and acting perfectly in keeping with the law? And does she answer the question? Of course not. Because how can you possibly justify that? You can't. There's no feasible means of justifying that whatsoever. So all this compassion, the very lightest sprinkling of, oh, the tragic death of Renee Good that she says at the very beginning there, and then proceeds to ask the journalist a question. I didn't realize that the White House press secretary's job was to ask other people questions. Maybe they should let him sit at the podium, and then she could go into the audience and start asking him questions if all of a sudden it's her job to do that. But hey, the fact that she's totally stepping outside the bounds of what she does, isn't that fucking hilarious? That the White House press secretary, somebody that is ostensibly watched by millions of people every single week, is just allowed to totally step outside of the bounds of what she's supposed to do, outside of the capacity of her job, which is to answer questions that the media has toward the White House. But no, instead, she's just allowed to totally go outside of that. Meanwhile, if you're like, I don't know, I'm just trying to think of some random menial work. Like if you're like a dishwasher or a busboy, and you get caught taking an extra smoke break because you're getting worked to the bone and you have all these expectations put on you. Oh, no, you're going to get written up, best case scenario. And worst case scenario, they're just going to send you out the fucking door because you haven't met your 3 months probation or whatever it might be. And or they have somebody else waiting just right behind you that's just as willing to take that position that you are. No. That person that works that menial station in life is unironically held to higher account than somebody that ostensibly represents the most powerful person on the planet. And isn't that just a jolly peek into how absurd things have become? And how, in a world where such absurd things are reported on such a regular basis, it has now become so toxically us versus them that the White House, an organization which is meant to serve the entire American public, just overtly insults half of the populace on a regular basis and talks down to them and acts like they're lesser and that they're inferior and alienates them and calls them all of these horrible things on a regular basis. And it's only going to set up the paradigm. I'll give Steven this. He was on here at one point, one of my early shows, probably my first or my second one. And no, maybe it was my second or third. God, that's such an irrelevant detail, Aiden. That really adds so much. And then we got on the ferry, and the ferry cost about 37 cents, which nowadays it costs 75 cents, which is really... Anyways, he was on here, and he was talking about the fact that the wind is going to blow the other way eventually, which is true. Trump, unless he really does just overtly try to grab the reins of authority and hold them forever and just take overt power as a dictator, which no, he's not a dictator. Didn't you hear that from everybody? He's not a dictator. He can't be a dictator, this, that, or the other thing. The only way that the Republicans are going to be able to perpetuate this kind of language only going towards the other side is if they stay in power forever. And that's not what's going to happen. Eventually, the Democrats, of which I have plenty of fucking problems with, but once they get back into power, all of this rhetoric is just going to go right back into their faces. And it's just going to push what is politically acceptable beyond any pale of reasonability whatsoever. And it's not like it's something I was talking about this the other day as well. It's not like it's something that just happened overnight. It has been something that has slowly been creeping into things. Oh, I remember back during the 2016 debates, people were talking about how they'd never seen any kind of discourse like this in just the regular political zeitgeist, where these people who are supposed to be representatives of the most powerful nation on earth are just overtly mudslinging at each other, and overtly mudslinging at each other's base as well, and insulting them. And it's only gotten worse from there, hasn't it? Last I checked, it sure as shit ain't getting better. U.S. administration these days is a perfect example of why we don't put toddlers in power. One of my early shows. You mean last week? Yeah, I know, Big Bad Mama. I know. I've been doing a lot of them. I have been. But you know what? Based on the fact that there's 10 people out there listening to my ass ramble into nowhere for whatever reason, it indicates that you people want it. So if it's bad content, then every single one of you are a bunch of fucking masochists, aren't you? Because you're lined up at the trough eating the slop. You've been doing great. Oh, thank you, Big Bad Mama. And we wore an onion. And he wore an onion on his belt, which was the style at the time. That's right. That's right. Spooky Abraham Spookson. Or whatever the fuck. Let me just eject out of that goddamn joke real quick. Jesus. Hope everybody in the chat's having a good day so far. We're not wealthy. Don't worry, Claude. All you people out there in the side chat, I am going to be opening it up. I know that this one's a bit of a longer solo session than the other ones have been lately, but I just wanted to get that out there at the very beginning of the show, that this idea that political discourse is just meant to continue on this spiral is just a little concerning to me. I don't know. Maybe it's a little concerning to you as well. I'd love to hear about it once I open the show. But I guess the last point I'll make before I open the show is that, haven't you seen it everywhere as well? Other person watching this and parasocially relating to me right now. Haven't you noticed that lately it's always the fake news? Oh, that source is left-wing, so it's wrong. It's fake. Oh, that source is right-wing, so it's inherently wrong, and it's inherently fake. And really, what is that except a means of just inherently discounting anything that doesn't meet your narrative? That's all that's at the end of that. I don't care about showing other sources. I don't care about sharing other pieces of information from other sources that I might disagree with. I was sharing that study that the UK did on one of the shows earlier this week. Big Bad Mama, fucking guy. I was showing that because I don't fucking care where the source comes from inherently. Is the information accurate? That's what matters more than anything else. I might brag, like with Missing Mod, right? The whole Google AI answer joke, right? The reason why I rag on her about that is because Google AI Answers isn't a person that's actually trying to accurately grab information, for one thing. And for two, it has been shown on certain occasions to be inaccurate with its information gathering. But if it leads you to an accurate source, which it is perfectly capable of, I've seen it do it with times that I put in research inquiries into Google. If you can trace the sourcing of that back to somewhere accurate, that's what matters. So anytime that somebody, quotes a Fox News article or a CBS article or fucking MSNBC, for all I care, any one of those, if it has an accurate source that it's getting its information from, that's what should be paramount. But it doesn't seem like that's what's paramount anymore. It seems like the thing that's most important is what side of this proverbial conversation, whether it's the red team or the blue team, the good guys or the bad guys, right? That's where every single fucking conversation has to inevitably go these days. is just this good versus bad pap that is so grossly oversimplified, that takes extremely complex issues that have a load of nuance and boils them down to the bare bones so that a wider audience might have a chance of even catching a glimpse at what is actually being said. But you know what the problem is? Is that in the process of oversimplifying it, so much has been lost in translation that it isn't even approximating anything that is wholly there anymore, that is wholly true. So I can't help but think that this is an inevitable outcome of that, right? That the world that we live in right now, where everybody is just hyper vigilant about every single piece of information because of where it comes from in terms of whether it has a left or right bent, it's a natural result of what I'm talking about, isn't it? But hey, what am I talking about? You know, an example of that I can think of is the whole Brian Thompson thing. Because you know what? With the whole Charlie Kirk situation, Charlie Kirk was a political commentator, right? That is inherently going to be political violence because it was done against a political figure. I get why it was immediately labeled as political violence. And also, one of the main reasons why I was so thoroughly against why it had happened, aside from the fact that last I checked, Charlie Kirk hadn't materially harmed anybody that I could think of. You know, he may have had some really shitty, horrible rhetoric that I really disagreed with, but that doesn't mean that he was out there denying people's healthcare coverage and ostensibly letting people die who otherwise could have lived. But anyways, the whole idea that Brian Thompson's murder by Luigi Mangione was somehow inherently a political thing, I think is a symptom of exactly what I'm talking about as well, because I don't think it was inherently political in nature. I don't think that healthcare should be a thing that is politicized. And in large parts of the world, it's not politicized. You go to Europe, huge swaths of Europe don't even have healthcare as an issue in their elections. It's not even something that's discussed because it's universally understood that every single person should have basic access to the amount of healthcare required to save that person's life. That's just something that's universally understood over there to be true. And yet, for some reason, in the most powerful country in the entire world, that's something that needs to be politicized now. That's something that needs to be held over the heads of people like some sort of sword of Damocles, because it's fallen victim to this trend where every single problem needs to be politicized. And why does it need to be politicized? Because they are issues that aren't as important as the primary one, at least in my view. And the primary issue is the disproportionate, exorbitant gap that exists in wealth that we are currently living in. Is that jealousy? That's often the thing that's thrown at my feet when I start making these talking points. Oh, you're just jealous because those people are rich and you're not. I'll tell you what, if you look into the lifestyle of some of these people, if you look into the lifestyle of Elon Musk or like King Charles or like the real well and truly opulently wealthy in our society, they can't take care of themselves worth shit. I was listening to something just earlier today where it was like this like other uptight British aristocrat talking about how, you know, Charles, the problem with him is that he's entirely reliant upon everyone else around him. You know, there was this one time where he was in his study and he rang me on the telephone and said, "Excuse me, Maurice, it appears that I've accidentally dropped a letter from my desk onto the floor. Would you be able to come in and grab it for me?" And I go in there, and it's right at his feet. He's perfectly capable of getting it, but he wants me to come from the other side of the entire manor and come and get it for him. And it's just like, is that really the way that you want to live? Person that's making that criticism towards me? Do you really want to become so disconnected from reality? Obviously, there's huge perks to wealth. I'm not acting like there isn't. But this idea that becoming so reliant on other people that you become entirely disconnected from the world and everything else around you, to the point where you're looked at by huge swaths of the population as this weirdo that doesn't know what the hell he's doing or what the hell he's saying, and just demonstrated to be incapable of doing anything beyond just serving your own interests. Like, I don't want to be that. Do you? No, probably not. Canada is disconnected from the world. We're right next to you, you silly goose. You silly goose. We're right there. Disconnected. Give me a break. I don't know, man. The way that I see it, these rich people that are extracting every single possible iota of value and wealth from this world and not giving you one single iota of thought in return, all I'm saying to you is maybe you should have just as much concern for their needs as they do for yours. Because they don't give a fuck about you. They never will. The only reason that your name would ever come across their notice is if you somehow were beneficial to them. Oh, this is a sick child that I can go and see for the Make-A-Wish Foundation so that I can get a little bit more press right before the next shareholder meeting, you know? And is every single person of wealth and means just this inherently monstrous person? No, I don't think that guy sitting in Florida with a few $1 million that he managed to make because he made a couple of savvy investments, I don't think that guy is a horrible, monstrous person. But when you become a billionaire, I'm sorry, but there is no ethical way of amassing that much wealth. There's no means of gathering that much wealth for yourself without having fucked over a colossal amount of other people in your past or present. It's just impossible. And the idea that process of just taking as much for yourself at everyone else's expense is so openly worshipped in American culture, is so openly respected and viewed as the ultimate state of affairs. This is what you should be aspiring to, person in the audience. You should be aspiring to be the person that screws everybody over. Because that's the only way to get up in this system, is by making sure that everybody that you end up stepping on the pyramid gets screwed over just a little bit harder than you got screwed over. Because isn't that the excuse that you'll hear from every single person? No matter what their trade is, by the way, no matter how unethical that trade is, even if it's human trafficking or sex trafficking, what they'll always say is, oh, it's just business. If I don't do it, then somebody else is going to take my place. It's always that kind of excuse making, no matter how horrible the trade that they're actually peddling or practicing is. And I think that that's indicative that the system itself is kind of fucked and might just need a little bit of evaluation. But with that being said, thank you very much to everybody who tuned in. No, I'm just joking. I'm not ending the show. I am going to open it up now, though. I'm going to post the link in the side chat. And I'm also going to pin the link in the chat. And anybody who would like to come in, you're more than welcome to do so. And tell me how wrong I am and what a stupid, dumb idiot I am, and how everything that I just said is the most asinine bit of garbage you ever heard in your entire life. I'll just say, while we've still got 11 people here as well, if you like what you have been listening to, or potentially will listen to, then make sure that you hit that like button, because it would be much appreciated. Now he's going to open up the panel the same way that he just opened up that mouth. Wow, Christian. Wow. You were really pacing around the room day and night. Oh, man, what am I going to say to Aiden on his next broadcast? Oh, snap. Oh, gee, oh, shucks. What am I going to say to him? Oh, now he's going to open up that panel and say me that he opened up that mouth. I'm the next Larry the Cable Guy, right, everybody? I don't think so, Christian. I don't think so. I'm sorry to say. Dustin, you know what? I just got to say, before I put Dustin on the stage, I'll give him credit, man. He is the vanguard and has been for at least like 3 or 4 of these streams, man. He's on that shit. The moment that I open up that room, and he's a busy guy too. He's out there working his ass off, toiling away in construction, and he's like just working away with the jackhammer. Oh, Aiden's live. Let me just put that down for a second. Boop, 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 boop. Join the live stream. What the hell are you guys doing out there? Huh? That's what I'm talking about. Dustin and Big Bad Mama, welcome to the show. How are you two doing?
I gotta tone it down, guys. I gotta tone it down.
Did your manager be like, Dustin, I gotta talk with you, man?
No, the neighbors like down the street complained.
Just a bunch of little old ladies being like, all right, Mabel, do you have everything together? Okay, we're gonna start our first ever prayer group sewing circle right now. Dustin's just down the street like, motherfucking goddamn it, you fucking piece of shit. I appreciate you, Dustin. I appreciate you're keeping it real. And you know what? You gotta fight that power, Dustin. Oh, this is the only means I have of making money right now. This is a real stable means of employment. Fuck that bullshit, Dustin. Fight the power. Yell all you want. No, I'm just joking.
Dustin would make a good preacher.
Dustin would make a good preacher. I can't disagree with that. He's got the passion for sure. He's got it on lock.
Aiden, can I make some comments on those 2 clips real quick?
Of course you can. Yeah, of course.
Okay. So those clips are both from the federal government. So it's not even a matter of having to filter it going through like the mainstream media, right? Because these are the comments from the government themselves. And they're from the press secretary, and that person is supposed to represent the entire country. And you noticed how she really tries to divide the country in her comments. That's one thing. And then, you know, in the first clip about the January 6th anniversary, that reporter's from Lindell TV, and this guy was the MyPillow CEO, and he was a major election denier, and he even, I think, led buses to the J6 thing. He led people to that event. So that's the reporter that's giving the question to the White House. And then one more thing just about the second clip. So that was an Irish reporter, and he was just basically saying what ICE had been doing that were negative and weren't being reported on. And she then asked for his personal opinion. And when she gave it, she equivocated that with his quality as a reporter or his competence as a reporter, which was interesting. I think that's all I got. And all he did was give facts. He didn't, you know.
You lying dog face pony soldier. What are you talking about? This whole era of we have to be, you know, civil in the press. I don't know what are you talking about?
I'm saying the White House should be civil, And the White House,
Except for Joe Biden?
yeah, his press secretary was bad too.
Oh, okay. As long as we're being intellectually
They
consistent,
all lie.
I can
They
live
all
with
lie,
it.
and they're there to protect the president and not report to the American people, which is their job.
I
They're
dig
the
holes.
rest.
I dig holes.
And you're
Are you
good
going to
at
be
it.
upset because I'm left-handed or because I'm right-handed? I mean, the reality is, a good liar is going to be able to do it well enough to where they're not caught. She's just not good at it.
Right, because she's so biased. I mean, it's and those two
So
clips.
overt.
That's why I sent them to Aiden, because they really illustrate the fact that she is biased to the maximum, as much as
Well,
you can.
all I can say is it's about time that the Democrats or the Republicans started taking notes out of the Democrats' playbook.
Oh my God!
Here we go. Yeah, give me a break. It's nothing but whataboutism whenever any kind of criticism is always left. It's always,
Dear
what about
God in
Joe
heaven.
Biden? What about Obama? What about all these other people that aren't in power right now? Obama isn't the president. Joe Biden isn't the president. Donald Trump.
They go back to Bill Clinton. I mean,
That's true.
How many times? How
Since the
many?
'90s.
How many times did Joe Biden get up on a press conference and blame Trump? How many times?
I mean,
Well,
that started as a trend when Trump started overtly blaming everybody else, though. Don't act like he was the one that started that trend. No.
Very
Trump was the
beginning.
one that started with his whole presidency, just lambasting his first term was nothing but lambasting.
Well, and the
everyone
birther
around him
movement,
who
Aiden.
disagreed
I mean,
with
that
it.
was
Yeah.
before he was president.
That's true. So the whole questioning the legitimacy of these people with non-political attacks on them is something that he's been doing for a long time now. So the fact that Joe Biden is doing it is shitty. Yeah, that just illustrates something that I was talking about earlier, which is the Overton window it may be pushed primarily by one side or the other, but both sides have to react when the Overton window is shifted. In order for both sides to have any chance of surviving, they have to shift. That's why all of a sudden you've been seeing the Democratic Party talking about how we need strong borders and rah-rahing for the military and supporting ICE and all of this shit. It's because the Overton window has shifted so much that they've realized...
As opposed to what, though? As opposed to what is the Democratic platform? Never-ending health care for everyone that doesn't work and transgenders for everything? I'm confused.
No,
What?
healthcare for everyone is, the rest of the world has that. I mean, Europe, and not the rest of the world, but Europe,
The rest of the
and
developed world
Canada
has it.
Right. And it's shown to be the most effective healthcare system that we have. But
Effective compared to what?
The transgender issues just brought up as like this smokescreen. I mean, their rights can be eroded. People want to erode the rights of trans people, but there's not that many trans
0.1% of the population.
You're right. Compared with people that are affected by wage inequality and even in the environment, those are the issues that affect everybody. And Aiden made a good point about the shifting of the Overton window. Well, it happened to the Democrats as well. And a good example is the environment. There was nothing about the environment in the last two elections, in the last election in particular. But
okay, so are we on medical stuff or are we on environment? We got to make up my mind.
Medical stuff. Why shouldn't there be health care for all citizens?
Can you explain to me the number of people that are coming from Europe into America for private medical
There's still
private medical procedures?
You're
gonna interrupt me right in the middle of my question? Come on.
Well, you asked a question. You just
but I wasn't done.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so if you look at the numbers, right? My question to you is, can you tell me the number of people coming from Europe to America getting elective procedures as opposed to Americans going to Europe?
710 per year. I just made that up.
Right. So I mean, but I don't know that you can tell me. Okay. All right.
So,
I'll listen to your answer.
You still will have that private doctor you still can have a private doctor if you want to go above and beyond what the universal health care covers. There will be private doctors that you will still be able to go to. You'll just have to pay them out of pocket or what have you.
Yeah, but all that.
So,
all that
well, then which is the best then? Is it their healthcare system, or is it the private pay?
The best is the one that covers everybody, because if those people get sick, believe it or not, that's going to affect us as the taxpayer, because our taxes will have to be raised to cover people's healthcare costs that weren't covered by a company or the government. So
not to mention the economic costs overall of having private healthcare coverage. When you're in a country like America, where there's such a stigma of going to the doctor's office, because there's this idea that every time you go to the doctor's office, you've got to pay a certain amount out of pocket. Then there are people that end up getting the flu or getting COVID or getting any number of different diseases that are potentially deadly. And rather than staying home, they go to work and they spread it around to everybody. And that is just objectively economically damaging to a country.
So how many people go to Europe for private election surgery, and how many people go from Europe to America for private? What was the answer to my question again?
We answered that by saying that the amount of people that would be coming to America would still be increased, even under a single payer option. America would still have loads of people coming to it, because America still has massive advancements going on in the medical sector. That's not going to change because Joe Lunchbox is now able to go see the doctor. America is not going to go from the leading edge of medical development to some backwater because people are now able to go see the doctor and not have to pay several $100s that they don't have.
Yeah, it's not.
What doctor is going to work for free? And again, you guys aren't answering my question. You're giving me a bunch of hooey and not giving me numbers.
They're not going to work for free.
Right. So who pays?
Your question's irrelevant, Dustin, because
no, it's not.
The Europeans will still be coming to America to see private doctors. That won't change.
No.
But
okay, I'm pushing back.
Everybody
I'm pushing back. I'm pushing back against your assertion that their medical system is the best. It's not. They come here to get private electrical surgery. Yet you absolutely did say that.
All right. No, one at a time.
Our medical system is better. That's why they're coming over here. But that's not relevant to the question of
your medical
coverage
science
of everybody.
Your medical science is better, I would say. Your medical system is not better. And
the medical system's not better. But I mean, Justin's right. There are people that come here for certain types of procedures that the United States is known for. I mean, that's
lots of sex change. Lots of sex change.
You asked, though, Dustin, how are the doctors going to get paid? No doctor's going to work for free, and I agree. Do you think doctors work for free in Norway or Sweden?
No.
Or Denmark, or Canada?
No. They tax the working people. That's what they do.
Right. They tax the working people with the understanding that every single one of those working people are going to have to go to the doctor eventually, Dustin.
Okay. Then what happens when I go to the doctor?
Dustin, it's the same principle. Hold on. Guys, just hold on a second, please.
Yeah.
It's the same principle as the idea that you have to pay for a road in Kentucky that you're never going to have to drive on.
It's not the same principle.
Because the highways that go through those, the local roads that are funded by the state, you don't have to pay for those. But those highways that go through there, the interstates, you do have to pay for those. Even if you don't ever use that one particular stretch of roadway, there's still a part of your tax dollars that have gone towards funding it.
Because you benefit from them ultimately.
No, I don't. No, I do not.
You benefit from
I don't need a gender elective surgery.
No,
I don't benefit from that.
You just accused us of shifting the topic to a bunch of different things.
I'm using Aiden's example that he gave, which I think is a good example that yes, we all use the road. So even if you don't personally use that particular road that's getting fixed, you are
we talking
benefiting
about
from it through the
medical,
commerce.
or are we talking about
Well,
roads? Why are you guys changing the subject?
He's using that as an
analogy.
analogy.
It's an analogy.
But
You
go
know,
ahead.
you're shifting the goalposts. That's all you're doing.
not.
We're supposed to be talking about medical stuff.
Dustin, the reason why I used it as an analogy is because in the same way that you are not going to necessarily directly drive down that one road, that one interstate in Kentucky at any point in your life, there's still probably several shipments coming from that road that are carrying goods that are eventually going to be delivered to a grocery store in your area. So you're going to indirectly economically benefit from that roadway being there. In the same way that if we had a single payer system and your taxpayer dollars were going to fund somebody going to see some doctor on the other side of the country, that person that's going to the doctor might be the truck driver that's delivering those goods that might not have otherwise had the money to be able to go and see that doctor, and therefore those goods wouldn't have made it to that store.
Not even remotely analogous.
It is, Dustin, and the fact that
It's not.
the fact that you just want to claim that it isn't, then give me a reason why it's not.
Because I don't have to pay for non-binary tires.
Dustin, if you just
You're
want to
using that as an example. Wait a minute, Aiden. You're using that.
We're supposed to be in medical stuff.
I am. But let me finish. You're using that as an example of the entire medical field. Every medical procedure, you've distilled it down to surgery.
Correct.
For transgender surgery.
Right. Which doesn't affect hardly anybody.
What percentage of medical procedures?
Now you want to get into numbers.
Let me finish. So the analogy of the highway is a good analogy because if a person's not insured and they get hit with a medical bill, then that they go bankrupt at that point. And then who covers that cost? And this is multiplied by tens of thousands of people, by the way. Who covers that? The taxpayer ultimately covers it, and the consumer. So it is analogous that if everybody's covered, then the government pays for that, and we benefit in the long run from that. Aiden can correct me if I'm wrong there, but I think that was his analogy.
I think that's very
why would Aiden correct you? He agrees with you. I would correct you.
He made the analogy. I didn't.
I would correct him if his analogy wasn't analogous to what I was saying.
Well, I believe it's not analogous because I'm talking about medical stuff. You guys are talking about the road.
Yeah, but you just want to talk about trans surgery for the next 5 hours.
No, I'm tired of paying for them.
Yeah, because you've been convinced that this thing that ultimately serves a tiny percentage of any medical procedure is somehow going to be the penultimate thing that you're going to be paying for. You know what you're also going to be paying for, Dustin, under that system? You're going to be paying for cancer treatments under that system.
I don't have an objection with that.
Alzheimer's treatments under that system.
Don't have an objection with that.
Right. So guess what? There are people out there that think that cancer is just a giant myth, Dustin. There are people out there that think that cancer is just this thing that just recently came about over the last couple of, I'm not saying this is you, but there are people out there that think that cancer is just a bunch of hooey and that it just came out over the last few decades and that it's just a giant hoax. So I guess that we shouldn't allow those people to get cancer treatment because certain people believe that cancer is just a giant hoax. So I guess we shouldn't cover those people, right?
After a certain amount of time and you're not seeing any progress in the way of a cure, you should maybe reassess where you're spending your money. I'm not saying don't fund it.
I was talking about treatment. I wasn't talking about a cure.
Okay.
Don't shift the goalposts.
Isn't the ultimate goal of medical procedure a cure?
Don't shift
are we just supposed to? No, I'm not. I'm not.
You are.
That is exactly. That's exactly. Okay. Then is a transgender considered cure after their sex is changed, or do they need more procedure?
It's treatment, Dustin. In the same way.
You fucking.
You keep bringing it back to an issue that doesn't affect hardly anybody, Dustin.
Well, it affects me.
You can't compare that with the amount of people that are treated for cancer, or diabetes, or any number of issues. The numbers just aren't there. So you're trying to distill this down to one issue, and
No, I'm highlighting my
Your
objection.
argument
I'm
isn't
highlighting my
sound because
objection.
of-
No, Dustin, what you're doing is you're saying because you arbitrarily take issue with this one tiny portion of a medical procedure being done over the entire medical industry, that because of that nobody should be allowed universal access to medical care because, oh, heaven forbid somebody end up getting a fucking top surgery and you have to
That's
pay.
not
and
my
pay-
position, but it
heaven
sounds
forbid
reasonable.
that you have to pay 1/100th of a penny on that person's top surgery at the same time as paying 1/100th of a penny for somebody's cancer treatment. What a horrible fucking world, right?
Why wouldn't I want to hang on to that 100th of a penny that would go to somebody's top surgery?
Because that
Can you
100th of a
explain to
penny
me why there's
is
a problem with that?
because that 100th of a penny is going to pay dividends, not only in terms of the economic prosperity that it will bring about.
Seriously gonna make that
but
argument
also,
to me?
yes, I am, because it's literally patently true, Dustin.
I can't take it. I can't take it. No, I don't see anything back out of that money that goes into that person's top surgery. Sorry,
Yeah, you do.
that
Yeah,
does
you
not
do.
work.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
Then the same way that I see benefit out of the defense budget.
The way that you see benefit out of the defense budget. Dustin, I already said earlier.
All of a sudden.
Oh, I'm not allowed to respond. Hold on. Dustin needs to
No, you're
yell.
allowed to
Dustin
respond.
needs to yell and pontificate. Hold on. I'll give you another 10 minutes. Like, come on, dude.
Well,
What I was
and
talking
again-
about. No, wait. What I was talking about with the defense budget, if you really want to bring it there, you were the one that was trying to straw man my argument into saying that we should just get rid of the defense
Right.
budget when I never said that
that's what I was
whatsoever.
going to say, and you're trying to do it again, Dustin.
You're just straw manning everyone's argument because obviously
I'm
the argument
just
that you're
straw-manning it.
making is going to be a lot easier. It's going to be a lot more defensible to say, oh, we shouldn't give everybody health coverage because then somebody might get trans surgery and I have to pay for it. That sounds a lot more defensible to a huge portion of the population compared to, I don't want to pay for that person's insulin. Or I
Don't
wanna pay
accuse
for that
me of
person's
manipulation.
chemotherapy. Or I don't want to pay for all of these other
Manipulative
things.
motherfucker.
Dustin, you are the one that's trying to make this argument into the most absurd version of itself in order to more easily attack it. That's you, buddy.
Can I respond at some point?
Yeah, you can.
Go ahead.
Much like every other lefty argument I get stuck in, you guys pretend like you don't understand what it is I'm saying. They're thus making conversation impossible. You're pretending to be ignorant of my ability to have an objection towards things, and you're saying that I'm weird because I have it.
Nobody called
Go
you
eat a fatty pile of crap.
Dustin, I can steel man your argument right now.
I doubt if you could. I doubt if you even know what my argument actually is.
Do you know what your argument is?
I know exactly what my argument is.
Okay.
All right.
You haven't explained it very clearly, I have to say.
Well, because every time I get about 2 sentences into it, you guys
ahead,
cut
we're
me
giving you
off.
Go ahead. You got a whole minute.
Okay.
Go for it. Sorry, Aiden.
Fuck you, big bad mama. No, shit.
Go ahead, Dustin.
So, I have no issue with helping people out. What I don't like is being taken advantage of. I don't believe that elective surgery should be covered in any way, shape, or form. Not the idea that I wouldn't pay taxes because it's being done, but that I like the idea that it's being reined in a little bit.
Respond?
Yep.
Okay. So you just hit the nail on the head when you said elective surgery, because not even in the countries that we're talking about is elective surgery something that's just universally covered. If somebody wanted to go
Transgenderism is.
No, if somebody wanted to go get plastic surgery, right? If somebody in, let's say, Sweden was like, I don't like the way that my face looks, I'm going to go get plastic surgery done to correct my nose. I'm going to go get rhinoplasty and get my nose corrected. Then that person's going to have to pay for that rhinoplasty themselves out of their own pocket.
Are you telling me that tax dollars don't go towards military transgender surgery?
As far as that's concerned, I have no clue whether or not that's the case.
Okay, well, I'm tired of it and I want it to stop.
Yeah, I know, but you're repeating like dog whistle
Not really.
topics because
No.
you know,
They're
how many times do
my
we have
personal
to-
beliefs.
How many times do we have to tell you though that this is a very tiny issue, and we're talking about universal health care for everybody, Dustin.
Right. That's the fact of the matter is, Dustin, is that you're saying that we should just not, like, are you just saying that single payer should not be made available to anyone because of that?
No. I'm saying that we should cut that. I'm saying that we should cut those surgeries out of the zeitgeist and reevaluate the DSM.
All right, so what if we cut those surgeries and we add in alchemical treatments on top of that instead? Now alchemy is now allowed, and you can be covered for alchemical treatments. You go to the apothecary.
I mean,
you go to the apothecary
like,
and
are we negotiating here?
Well, I'm just saying, like, should I be able to go to the witch doctor as well and go and get
according
under medical
according to Obama, you could.
Oh, give me a break. Says
according to Obama, you could. You like your doctor, you can keep your doctor.
Dustin, let me ask you a question.
What?
So if it wasn't for the trans surgeries, you would be for universal health care, right? Or not?
I'd be for a reined-in version of it.
What's that represent? How does that work?
A sliding scale payment system like we have now, only more efficient and less catering to legal.
So right now, the insurance companies run it, not the government.
Right.
But the government could institute laws that makes them run it a certain way.
Right, but that's not changing the healthcare system to be universal at that point. You're basically just saying we need to take our current system and make it more efficient. And
what a weird idea.
Well, you're still giving the healthcare corporations the power,
right? And that's even under these systems. Like, you keep bringing up Obama this, Obama that. Like, somehow
no, actually, I only brought him up once.
Well, like, I'm somehow this massive Obama supporter or something like.
No,
that.
I only brought him up once.
But like, the fact of the matter is that even with Obamacare was nothing but a giant gift to the insurance industry. Because
I know what it was.
It mandated that people purchase insurance from private insurance companies. So literally,
it was better than what we had before, though. It was a step in the
right. It was a step in the right direction, but the idea that was supposed to be the first step, and they just stopped there.
Right.
They just stopped. It was supposed to be the whole reason why it was able to go through the way it was with all of the cuts compared to what it was originally supposed to be. Was because there was this understanding at the time, and I remember this being talked about at the time. There was this understanding that it was going to be the first step in this process that would eventually lead to single-payer healthcare and would eventually lead to universal healthcare, and it just never fucking happened.
Oh, weird! Something that the Democrats promised didn't happen.
It's almost like the American government in general makes loads of promises that it doesn't actually follow. The only problem is, Dustin, is that
but it's okay when the Democrats do it, right?
Who the hell said that? Once again,
you are.
No, I didn't.
You are. It kind of feels like it.
When? At one point?
Right, just now.
No. I actually fucking demand you to fucking quote me. One
just
fucking
now.
part of this entire discussion. No, I want the quote, motherfucker. Give me the quote.
I mean, I'm only implying that that's what you mean.
Aiden said that the Obamacare was a step, and then they stopped. He's including Democrats and Republicans in that.
Yeah, it wasn't just the Republicans that were trying to all of a sudden curtail it, and it wasn't. If it was just the Republicans that were trying to cut back Obamacare, then it wouldn't have been cut back because they had a majority. The Democrats had a majority at that time. So if there really was this massive willpower to make sure that all of these sweeping reforms came in, like Obama promised, like, he was legitimately viewed by people my generation and younger as like the next Kennedy. He really was viewed as this, like, he's going to get everything done. He's going to make all these massive sweeping changes. Even Maude was talking about that the other day. About how even
Kennedy was a prick.
He was this super charismatic figure that was going to make all these changes. And Obama fucking sucked. He was a fucking nothing burger. He was a fucking nothing burger president that got barely anything done whatsoever. And the things that he did get done were half-assed. He fucking drone struck loads of people.
He fucking
He did.
deported loads of people while trying to
He
act
did.
like other people were wrong for being deported or having other people deported. He fucking oversaw everything that was happening in Libya. What happened with Gaddafi ended up happening under Obama's watch. So there's plenty of shit.
He kept the wars going, which
Right.
really have to be blamed on Bush, though, in the long run.
Benghazi, which while it was blown out of proportion, was still under the Obama administration and is still a massive fault of their administration. All of that, I don't have any fucking problem criticizing the Democrats, Dustin. So I really would appreciate it if for fucking once you could actually deal with my argument instead of these straw men that you keep attacking all the time. I really would. It'd be actually a breath of fresh air.
I tell you what, I'll deal with your argument when you stop with the whataboutisms about Trump. We can get on fair, neutral plane. Because I think you're not even gonna let me speak. You're not even gonna let me speak.
Go ahead.
Look, if you want to get on neutral playing territory, you need to quit putting names into it. Because if you're gonna call Trump out by name, right? I'm gonna call out Biden. I'm gonna call out Obama. I'm gonna cut out it doesn't matter.
Of course,
they're all presidents. They're all presidents. They're all presidents.
Dealing with what's happening now in reality.
Do you mean Trump? Who's the current commander in chief?
Yes.
That would be Trump.
Well, that's the most important thing to concentrate on then.
For you?
No,
I'm not trying to argue your arguments. I'm trying to argue mine.
For everybody, even the
Dustin,
people that would deny that.
Dustin, I have a question. How much have you had to pay in rent from 15 years ago? How much rent did you have to pay from 15
How is
years
that
ago?
How is that Trump's fault?
No.
I'm
I'm asking, when was the last car payment from 15 years ago that you paid this month? The reason why I'm asking you this is because the past is the fucking past, Dustin. That's gone. It's said. It's done. There's nothing that can be. And I'm only saying that, not to say that the past doesn't matter before you misrepresent me. I'm not saying that the past is
okay. All right.
Or that the past doesn't matter. What I'm saying is that we can't affect the past. We can't affect it. We can't change it. It's already fucking happened. We can.
You're upset that I've learned from the past. You're upset that I've learned from the past, and I'm making proclamations against things that you support. That's fine. I can live with that. Doesn't mean anything beyond that. I just disagree with you.
You're making proclamations, but not many arguments.
You're making proclamations.
I made plenty of arguments that you haven't even touched. I still have yet to hear a number of people that come from Europe to America. You don't even touch my arguments. You pretend like I don't. You read them away, and then you change the subject, and then you bogart. No, hold on. I was talking.
No, you're right.
Hold on. You guys bogart the subject. You change the subject. You move fucking goalposts, and then you cut me out for like 5 minutes at a time and gish gallop the shit out of me. That's a bunch of horse shit.
Well, it's Aiden's show, so I mean, he can kind of.
Oh, well, he's the one that did it. Well, it's all Aiden's fault when you're really
no, I'm saying that you have the right to do that, you fucking asshole. Jeez, Dustin, I agree with you now.
Thank you. It's about time.
Dustin, the reason why I brought that up was because you keep referencing the past as though it's of equal relevance to right now. You keep acting
those
like
who don't learn from it
has equal relevance. Dustin, I study history all the fucking time. You think that I don't?
I know. That's why I'm kind of confused about your argument right now.
Because Dustin, I can recognize you think. Just take it from somebody who's done loads of looking into and studying the past. When I say that the past isn't what's paramount in life, because it's not.
I agree, but I don't want to repeat it either.
One of my favorite quotes from Frank Herbert is that it's foolish to live in the past, difficult to live in the present, and impossible to live in the future. Just because it's difficult to live in the present doesn't mean that it isn't what we should be focused on. Doesn't mean that it is what is most important.
Okay, in 5 years from now, okay, when a Democrat is in the office and I start criticizing them and I bring this video up, you're going to eat a shit ton of crow. I'm just telling you, in the future, You're going to defend that man with everything you have, and then I'm going to be like, but the past doesn't matter.
Yeah, just like I defended the crap out of Biden when he was in office, right, Dustin?
You just wait until you find somebody you like. I'm going to keep this in my memory. We're going to have this argument in the future, I promise.
I'll tell you what. If I ever defend somebody as myopically and mindlessly as I've seen people defend Trump, then you can just go ahead and take me out back and just fucking hold you.
I'm just saying, bro. These arguments are going to come back to bite you in the ass.
Most people held their nose when they voted for Biden, and nobody is out there wearing Biden merchandise.
Yes, sir.
That is true. Nobody's out there going, Biden 2028,
Right.
Biden 2032, Biden
There's no cult of
2036.
personality there with Biden or Harris, or maybe a little bit with Obama, but I don't even think so there.
I mean, I would say that maybe there was a little bit just in, like, I remember when Obama was leaving office in 2016, there was all these like CNN was playing like, and now coming up, Obama, the greatest president in American history. And it's just like,
Yeah,
okay,
right.
all right, calm down, guys. Calm the fuck down. Like, there's a little bit of that. I can't deny it. But not anywhere near to the extent of what you're seeing now. Not at all. And I think that was very much so a symptom of this idea that's just kind of largely been abandoned. That used to be this idea that, oh, well, the president may disagree with us and he may be a different party, but he is the president. And because he's the president, there needs to be a certain level of respect that's tied to the person of the president. And I feel like it's not necessarily a coincidence that as the presidents got less and less respectable themselves, that respect for the presidency in tandem also kind of faded away into basic non-existence. You didn't see people talking this kind of shit about fucking FDR. You didn't see people talking this kind of shit about fucking... I mean, there's fucking propaganda that was out there talking about him and stuff like that. It's not like there was no criticisms that were ever levied against him. But it wasn't
He didn't do stuff
near.
like take a Sharpie to a national weather map and draw his own boundary for the hurricane.
That is true.
But the past doesn't matter. Though.
Ooh, I just finished saying that the past does matter.
It matters to how it affects the present.
You know what? I don't care. I don't care if I go over there and you put me in the hospital. I'll make sure that we both end up there. All right? How about that? All right?
You better be coming with a truck.
We'll see. I know you'll win that fight, Dustin. I know you'll win that fight, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to mess you up too, buddy.
Dustin, in 1 month, I'm going to come kick your ass.
Bring it.
I wouldn't. I would take you to lunch.
Bush Sr. sucked, Clinton sucked, Bush Jr. sucked, Obama sucked, and Trump and Biden sucked. Yeah, agreed.
You know who's missing from that list right there? Clinton. I never had sexual relations with Monica.
He's right there.
He's right on the list.
Oh, was he there? He was on the list. I didn't see him. Okay, my bad.
Dustin.
I would highlight Bush Jr. in particular out of that list as just a horrible president who killed 1 million people, basically.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think he's also one of the first ones that really fundamentally eroded that respect for the presidency. At least one of the first ones that really did that. Now, Clinton, I'll give full credit that he probably would have been the vanguard of that with the scandals that occurred. Well, Nixon as well.
Yeah. I have to hand you that one. Nixon was a bad mark.
Well, you know what though? Dustin, I might say something here that surprises you. I would say that Nixon nowadays would be considered a fucking frothing at the mouth commie leftist by modern standards.
I understand what you're saying, and I know why you're saying it even.
Like the environment and stuff, he came up with the Clean Air and the Clean Water Act. And
he founded the EPA.
Right. He did do some positive things, but he was also, the whole Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam thing. Nixon was horrible, as was Johnson.
I don't know what you're talking about, Big Ben Mama.
Why are you talking about your Johnson, BBM?
Oh my God.
Oh no. Oh no.
Always taking it to the lowest level.
Leave it to Deviant Outcast to come in here and turn an otherwise erudite political discussion into a bunch of but what about Pinor, guy?
In her defense, Big Fat Mama is a bit of a dick.
Hey, fuck you.
Oh, damn. You want some ice?
I admit it. I admit it.
It wasn't me who brought it up. It was BBM. I was not talking about Johnson's. He was.
Okay, well, what's your opinion on Johnson's then?
What?
What's your opinion on Johnson's? Are you for him or against him?
I mean, generally for. I'm not against. It depends.
I'm sorry.
I think it's a situational thing.
Well, yeah, if they're by my face,
Dustin, are you pro Johnson, Dustin?
No, I'm not pro Johnson.
Okay.
You're not pro Johnson? What the hell?
I have my own Johnson. I'm pro my own Johnson.
Yeah, that's
I don't need anybody else's Johnson.
You don't need to freaking Benedict Arnold your own Johnson, dude. What the hell? Like, you stand by your Johnson.
Why did I?
Most of the time, my Johnson hangs under me, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Well, as long as it's not dragging behind you, it's good.
Can you throw it over your shoulder like a Continental Soldier? That's the real question of the argument when you really think about it. I think Claude is loving this current discussion. He all of a sudden shows up
Claude, Claude has huge balls. I can't compete. That doesn't help anything.
Love this community, jeez. So how are you today, Deviant?
I'm very good. I am still somewhat tired. And I have to say this out loud because I have to hear it myself. I can't stay here for that long because I need to prepare for tomorrow. Because I should have done that on Wednesday when I thought about it.
You're getting ready for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. That's really thoughtful of you, Deviant Outcast. Wow, I didn't know they celebrated that in Sweden.
What? No, I'm doing a taking part in a show tomorrow about technology in ancient Egypt.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Yes.
Are you?
I've been meaning to ask you a question about that.
Oh, here we go.
Uh-oh.
Can you show me a boat that can handle even one of the smaller stones that went on the pyramid? Just one boat?
Yes. I mean,
okay.
It depends on what you mean. You need to understand that we don't have, because of what boats are made out of, being wood, and the way that they are oftentimes disposed of, meaning in the water.
How about a hieroglyphic of one boat? How about a hieroglyphic of one boat? How about a hieroglyphic of one boat?
Yeah.
That can handle them stones. That you have hieroglyphics of them on the boat.
Yes.
Can you pull them up, please?
I can. If you give me a moment, I will.
Take your time.
I will Google it.
Who the hell do you think you are, an Egyptologist?
Well, weren't the quarries on the bank of the Nile River on the same side as the pyramids, or did they have to be transported?
Yeah, but the sandstone.
Well, you wouldn't need boats, right?
Wait. We have to get this straight. The sandstone was taken from the Giza Plateau, but the granite that was used for the casing was shipped there.
Okay.
So, and it is true that
how big of stones are we talking about?
So
big stones.
I need to
or whatever you want to weigh,
to focus
kilograms.
to be able to Google because my
Mute the tab. Honestly, genuinely, go to this tab, right-click it, and just click mute tab, and then you can come back and unmute it when you're done with that. That way, you won't have to listen to any of us, and you can focus on your research.
That's awesome. I'm not sure how I do that.
So if you just hover over the tab and right-click it.
I did it. I found it. Awesome. Thank you. I'll be right back.
Now I can talk. Wow, what an unreliable source Deviant Outcast is. Am I right, guys? Like, deviant when you really think about it, you know?
What is she doing? Googling the answer?
I got it.
I mean, like, she probably has a giant freaking book somewhere. She's probably consulting.
She should be able to just reel this off the top of her head.
That's true.
You would
Big
think.
Big Bad Mama, can you give me the tectonic profile of
There's not an equivalent question.
Tectonic profile of the 18th layer of the Grand Canyon really quickly?
Not even close to equivalent.
Probably.
And he could still do it. That's insane.
I don't know about the 18th layer. I'd have to think about that.
And the 18th layer, it's only about...
The Coconino Sandstone.
There's only 3 more layers until I'd be able to drink.
What is she doing?
She's Googling. Because there's no answer to this question. I already know.
Don't you just need a big log raft?
Yeah, because granite's going to float on. Yeah.
Well, how big?
10,000 pounds of granite.
How big are we talking about?
Lång, stor, spets på toppen.
Uh-oh.
Nej, obelisk. Jag hade det och sen när jag fick in
She's cussing you out, Dustin.
She's mad at me.
She just said obelisk. I caught obelisk.
Yes, sir.
I caught who the fuck does this guy think he is?
Big Bad Mama's an authority on only when Deviant speaks Swedish, though.
That's the only person I understand.
Oh, your birthday's tomorrow, Achilles.
Oh, happy birthday, Achilles.
Happy early birthday. I'm not really sure if I'm going to be doing anything tomorrow or not because I've got the museum and then I've got a medical procedure that I'm going to have taken care of tomorrow. So we'll see how that ends up working out.
Sounds like you need a break.
Yeah, I might take a break for a couple days or something like that. I've really been enjoying this, though. Like, I'm not feeling burnt out or anything on any of this. It's been great. There's still 10 people hanging out right now, and we don't even have anything going on right now. My comment was a response to Mr. Logo. We have a Sabbath open panel in 30 minutes. Hey! You're not supposed to be working on the Sabbath, Steven. You better have like one of the, you know how like certain Jewish people have like these like super complex like Rube Goldberg machine-esque devices in their homes so that they can turn on the light switch, but they don't have to flick the switch because that's work. You know, they could have this thing like all their phones are auto dialing so that you don't have to dial in the phone number because that's work and you can't work on the Sabbath. Based on the fact that Steven said lol, I think he knows what I'm talking about. The Sabbath was yes. Oh, right. You're a Saturday Sabbath guy. I see. That's what the open panel is over. Oh, you're doing a Saturday. Oh, is it a panel on whether you can work on the Sabbath or is it a panel on whether it's the Saturday or Sunday Sabbath? Because that used to be a controversial issue in the church as well. They used to call it the double Sabbath, which is where the first 2-day weekend came from.
Isn't the idea just to rest for one day? Does it really matter what day it is?
Well, like I was saying, the church had this idea called the double Sabbath at one point, which is basically to say that, well, some people think it's Saturday, some people think it's Sunday, so we'll just do both days. And I'm for that. If you get 2 days off instead of one, hell yeah.
Yeah, then we can disagree a little more and make it 3.
Yeah, there you go.
Keep arguing about it.
Oh, Achilles, I want to announce to you. By the way, good to see you.
Hello.
I just want to announce to you, I'm going to be the first person to break it to you and all Greeks. Greece is introducing the first ever 7-day work week, Achilles. That's right.
Oh my God.
No, I'm joking. They'll probably push
yes.
8 days eventually. We're going to do an 8-day work week. We're going to strap you into a matrix like
Yeah, that is a stereotype
that
that is going around about Greece. But if you look at numbers, you'll see that we work more than the average European, and we get paid way less than the average European, and we have the most expensive groceries, and we have, even if we're the ones producing them, we're shipping them to Argentina, and we get them from, like, I don't know, Sweden or something. And yeah, it's very easy to say, oh, the Greeks, man, they destroyed the economy because they are like, lazy. Yeah, but if you look at the numbers, that's the exact opposite.
No,
Which, I mean, I didn't
Who
expect
pays more
anything.
taxes to the EU, you or a German worker?
Us.
Really?
But yeah, but
Whatever.
but it's never like to the EU. We pay it to the government. It's like, there's no, but to Germans,
You're still paying to the crown, aren't you?
No, Greece doesn't
no,
have a monarchy.
You're 70 years.
Aren't
behind.
you? Isn't Greece still making a dividend into the crown?
Nope.
Okay.
You're talking about like payments over like British like leases on like military bases and things like that. Is that what you're talking about?
I actually didn't hear that.
Yeah, more or less. Yes, that's what I was asking about, because like I think that the British Navy is still under the crown.
Well, yeah, the British Navy is, but he's Greek.
Yeah, and they still have an active king now. I mean, we don't. But by the way, you mentioned at some point yesterday, I think it was Dustin, that you're doing this world like a whole thing, a favor, that you have military bases in their countries and all that. Have you run those numbers? Not concerning the one.
I didn't bring that up. Big Bad, or not Big Bad Mama. What was her name? Missing Maud brought that up. That wasn't me.
Oh yeah. Okay. Thank you. I don't know if you guys know, the prerequisite to have an American base. This is not like advertised much, but they're not paying for their gas. My country is paying for the gas of the American bases. Everything they need, we're the ones paying for it. It's like we're doing you this favor to be located in your country, which is for our benefit, actually, not your country, because whatever happens with Turkey, we won't intervene. We don't intervene about anything unless it's, something that's convenient to us. But you pay for everything we need, all the oil that we might need, and we don't pay any property tax. So yeah, I don't know if you guys know that, and I bet it's happening in other countries too. I know my government is completely sucking it, so I don't know if other countries have made better deals, but this is what's happening here on mine. So I don't know if you guys know that. I don't know where this 900 billion, which has just been announced to be raised to 1.5 trillion, is actually going to. I really don't know if that's the case. And because you have
message in the side chat.
Pension scheme, what is that?
I'm not sure.
Pension. Okay, no, the pension you get is like 700, unless you are like an army general or spend all your life in the sea like a captain, where you used to get 2,000, but that was like 10 years ago. Then we got into the IMF and they went down to like 1,200 or something. No, if look at the numbers, like seriously, guys, Greece is getting overworked and underpaid for the whole decade. We have less vacation. I know I joked about this with Deviant yesterday, but our vacation is less than the average European. Our insurance is higher. There are some things that we have cheaper meds, but they'll change that too.
You probably have more vacation than we do. You have more
What
than 2
happened to Deviant?
Deviant's in the trenches right now, Dustin. You don't even
She's still
know.
looking for what you asked her to.
So I looked up the blocks are only 2 tons, so 4,000 pounds. So Dustin, you were saying 10,000 pounds, I think, which was not.
There are granite stones that are 10,000 pounds that came from Ashland. There's no boat that can support that.
The average was 2 tons.
I never said anything about average. I said, can you show me a boat that can handle even one of the smaller stones? That's what I said.
Average is better than smaller.
I wouldn't. Yeah, and I wouldn't think that. I would think that a boat, a barge, or something like that.
You would think that, but you don't have any physical evidence of it.
I mean, if you let him finish what he was saying.
I mean, but it's irrelevant. Like he said to me earlier, it's irrelevant. There's no physical evidence of what he's asserting.
I'd rather wait for Deviant to give her expertise.
That's what exactly. That's where I'm at with it too.
I just wanted to. You maintain that it was 10,000 pounds.
I never maintained that. And that there are some granite stones that were 10,000 pounds. But I never maintained that. I never said a number. You said a number, and then I agreed.
Is that true?
Eat it. That is exactly true. I never said a number.
Okay, I'm going
I said smaller blocks.
And Mad Mom was like, rewind this.
I'll make a short of it.
Check the tape.
Yeah, I'll wait. Like, I'm still waiting on those answers to those questions I asked you like 4 years ago now.
I answered this.
You know you have to.
No. I have barely fucking said anything right now, so you give me a second here, okay? All right? When it comes to that, when it comes to what you asked us about how many people come over to America from Europe, we literally granted you the premise that more people come to America to seek elective treatment than people go to Europe to seek elective treatment. So you keep asking for numbers like that's somehow a gotcha when we literally began by conceding the whole point of that entire question to you. I don't know why you're still acting like it's such a big gotcha.
Aiden, the question in reference of what we are speaking of right now happened 4 years ago, not right now.
Dustin is talking about our geology discussion that we.
Oh, I see.
Aiden's point still stands, Dustin. You said that we were trying to shy away from that question, and we already conceded the point that Europeans come over to America for certain medical procedures.
I swear, do you own both sides of this conversation? You're literally ignoring everything I say, mischaracterizing it, and not even listening to me. I swear you're not hearing what I'm saying.
It's a good discussion.
Hi everybody.
Hey, don't everybody talk at once.
Hey, I just got in, and I was thinking, let's change the subject from the left and the right. How's that?
Whatever, commie.
Yeah, whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah.
Until Deviant does her research.
I thought we were talking about Egypt.
Yeah,
Vivian has responded. Vivian has responded, and she has given an eloquent response, but she's muted, and I don't think she knows that.
Is she talking this whole time?
I don't know.
That'd be great if she was just like giving the most like advanced, eloquent like
right, reading the whole
right now.
She's just gone from the 3rd to the 4th dynasty.
And now she will unmute and be like, and let me get the 4th book that I have on the issue, and you know.
Right.
The 4th dynasty is kind of like the 17th layer of the Grand Canyon when you really think about it, guys.
Well, I like the dynasty that went into the next dynasty during when the global flood supposedly happened.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
and the picture that
Sorry,
you shared. The picture that you shared at the end of the stream yesterday, I think, is a good indication of why the flood happened.
Oh my gosh.
What was the picture?
Don't get me started.
Oh, let's not show it again, because at some point it
Well,
will
we're gonna debate, right? Did the PGs choose their 2 people yet to debate me? Take that to the official PG headquarters and let me know.
We're still working on the whole presidency thing with Aiden.
You can work on 2 things at once.
That's true. That's true. Achilles, have you announced to Dan that his days are numbered yet?
I haven't yet seen any campaign money, but when I do,
You see a little bit of lobbying money come your way, then all of a sudden the tune is going to change real quick. I got
yeah, when I'm like that meme with Donald Duck counting the cash.
yeah.
Right.
Did you ever see the movie Rudy? About the kid that they put him in for one play in, I think, college ball. That's kind of what Dan is as president to the Proverbs guys.
Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play today.
What up, I am
Put
Batman?
me in, coach.
Welcome, Batman. I am Batman.
I was about to welcome him. But that's fine, Achilles. It's okay. It's not like I'm the host of the show or anything. That's perfectly fine. Hey, I'm Batman. Welcome to the show.
To be fair, Mr. Aiden, the last time I was on, I did not receive a greeting. It was Achilles that actually greeted me.
Yeah, and he's trying to do it again. He's like, well, I'm going to try it.
Yeah, because you ain't doing your job.
It's called manners, It's a thing.
You're just like the SOS out here. Oh, you're not streaming the exact same way that I want.
Okay, let's all mute and let Odin talk for a half hour.
What? No, not unless you guys want to go to sleep. Dustin's going to just say this shit and leave.
Sorry, guys. I've got to go. I've got to shut the stream down all of a sudden. Sorry about that.
What? Are you serious?
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I will say,
for
though,
another
I
half hour.
did discover something very interesting, that if Aiden's stream gets really toxic, to fix that issue, he just needs to leave.
Yeah, the only person that needs to leave, the person that's pointing it out. You know?
Oh,
Oh wow, you notice how much less toxic the stream is all of a sudden? Crazy how that works.
See what I'm talking about? This is evidence.
Yep,
right?
you're good.
Whenever you point out the oppression of the controllers of the
he's turning into Trump.
That's what happens.
right? You try to hide the truth and silence you.
Look, all right, there's a great quote that I would like to reference, all right, and it's grant me more freedom, for that is according to your principles, so that I might take away your freedom, for that is according to my principles. How about that, Dean? How about that?
Well, how about no justice, no peace? No justice, no peace.
Hey, that's my thing. Hey,
yeah, now you know how it feels.
I'm suing you for copyright infringement. I came up with that. I was the one that came up with that.
And now it's
Mom
touted
was
all
here, she
over
would
the
have been
world.
proud of me.
That's right. I have my Brett Keane arc where I'm gonna get like really popular, and then like 2 months later, people are gonna be like, Aiden Linden discovered to plagiarize 97% of all of his content from other people. And it's just like, I didn't do any of that in the situation. And by the way, I'm gonna flag this guy because he's a piece of garbage in this situation. He just got taken down because he went around false flagging a bunch of people. I miss Brett. That's why I'm bringing him up every once in a while.
Is he still streaming? Or
Let me double check. Hold on. It's been like a few weeks since
I
I've
think
checked
Eve has taken over.
That's right, Achilles.
And boy, what a mouth she has.
Oh shit. Hold on.
I mean, I can't even spell out the things that come out of that bot.
I checked a few weeks back. He did have one live video on his channel a few weeks back, and it was
it's gone.
It was the saddest thing you've ever seen in your entire life, because if you check it, he's just sitting there by himself, and it gets to a point where he's like, You know what? If no one's gonna join me on the broadcast, I'm just gonna fucking shut this down and delete it in the situation.
And what did Eve respond?
She was like, "Oh, Gretch, you're stinky ass again."
And I don't know. People.
You're not letting him post live videos, I don't think.
What a
Oh,
travesty.
he does. Brett does what Mod does. They go through phases and they just delete it.
Yeah. I don't know what you're
Which
talking about.
Yeah, which I'm not accusing them. I mean, whatever makes somebody feel good, that's what they should do.
You ever seen Brett Keane and Missing Maud in the same room together? That's all I'm putting out there. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, I was on a stream with both of them.
Oh God. Let me just be Missing Maud's white knight.
You asked a question. Was it rhetorical?
You tell me, Big
Most of these questions are rhetorical. Don't fall in the trap of answering them.
Achilles, I just told Missy Ma that you're going after her.
Oh boy.
About
I just heard
the
Deviant.
bases in Greece.
I think I just heard Deviant. Are you back, Deviant?
I'm back.
Oh.
Deviant's back.
What did
I'm
Google
sorry.
say?
Fuck you, Big Bad Mama.
Well, it might surprise you, but I have not yet leveled to, I've not evolved to the level where I can just project images onto your brains. I do need to use the internet for that. I know it's.
What do you mean, Big
It's a
Bad
bad
Mama?
one.
I saw that last night.
What?
I don't know. I got you on my mind for some reason.
I got Mama on my
That's scary.
Oh damn. Okay.
Rent free.
I'm out of here.
Justin's like, every time I get really angry, Big Bad Mama pops into my mind for some reason. I don't really know why.
What?
Wait,
Nah.
Why did it?
Dustin come back?
That's
Why
a
did
little,
it go?
that's a little
Anytime.
weird. I mean, Big Bad Mama, you're constantly on my mind, and then he leaves.
There. Dustin, don't do that to me.
I don't know. No, I really want answers to my questions. Yes, I can.
Go ahead, Deviant.
Yeah. Let's see. I had to because I have quite a lot of what's it called? A lot of tabs open. So I had to create. If I can not image file that shares. Aiden. There we go.
What? Yeah. So, hey guys,
Can you,
Deviant just spat all over the monitor and now needs to go grab some paper towel.
Okay, I have a couple of but Aiden
Big Bad
needs
Mama,
to allow
quit
me to
queefing
share.
into the mic.
That was a great answer. I think it totally covered it.
Stop queefing into the mic, Big Bad Mama.
So, to know what you can see this image.
Nope. I'm just kidding. I'm messing with you.
Oh my goodness, Achilles!
Justin, can you see it?
So
it was better when you had it full screen or something. Now it just turned very small.
oh really? That's
There. Yeah.
That's better.
Yep.
what?
Yes.
Right there. No, go back. Go back.
I'm trying, but it won't let me do the thingy.
Okay.
There you go.
Thingy.
Okay, good.
Great. Good.
Good.
Oh, Facebook.
I have too many windows open and too many tabs. So this is a bit, it doesn't show that well. This is the carving. It's from Deir Bari, which is the funerary temple of Hatshepsut, where you can't, it's very difficult to see. I'm going to show a better drawing of it soon. And it was so. I tried to think. I seriously had to go out and ask for a specific word because I couldn't find it in my head, and it was very annoying. And the internet hated me. But here we are.
Is that why you were cursing my name when you came on that live a little bit? We heard you. We heard you. I may not have understood what you were saying, but I understood exactly what you were saying. This guy makes me do more work than my college professor.
Yes. Here,
like I only speak a little bit of Swedish from my grandmother, but I understood a little bit of that.
Here you can see the image rendered. It was so annoying because at first when I just did the search, I didn't get anything. I was like, am I going mad? I've been at their body. I've seen this image on the fucking wall and nothing comes up. I don't know. The internet hates me. But here you can see the image did better. It's the same as this one. It's from the same carving at Derelbari. Now I need to point out that this is an obelisk that they are transporting on this image. Obelisks, however, are much larger than the stones used to build the pyramids. And if you want, let's see, where is that? There we have it. This is not. Wait, what the fuck? Yeah. This isn't a carving. It's a piece of a much larger
Stela?
Papyri. No, it's
Papyri?
that was found in, I believe, like 2015 or 16 or something like that. It is quite recent. It's a diary of a guy named Merer. He was the foreman, so the leader. Oh, of course you know what the foreman is. The foreman of.
That's the only thing you know.
No, you know much more than that. You are much more than a worker, Dustin, even though you work most of the time. It's a guy named Merer. This is his. It's a personal diary, but it's just he's detailing the wait, where were he's the foreman. He's the foreman of a team of people working with the building of Khufu's pyramid, and you can actually see here is the cartouche with the name du-WUUU-WUU-WUU written in it. In
God bless you.
Not.
I see
Thank
it.
you.
It's very clear.
This is not written in hieroglyphics. It's written in hieratic, which was the script they used for writing on papyri. It's easier. And,
so, can I ask you a question for clarification? Okay.
Yes.
You went to the obelisk. What documentation shows that was an obelisk? And what was the final destination from the point of origin?
So, this one.
Yep, the obelisk.
Yeah, I can actually tell, not just because you can see the obelisk on the boat, but primarily because of the hieroglyphics that's written above the image of the boat with the obelisk is telling the story about how Hatshepsut had 2 obelisks cut out from the quarry in Aswan, which is in Upper Egypt, which is the southern part, down towards the border, up to the Karnak temple in modern-day Luxor. And he's telling the story of how he did that, how she did that, or she had it down. She didn't do shit. She just said, do it, and people did it for her. But so the reason I know it's an obelisk and where it was carved and where it was transported to is told in the hieroglyphics that's written above the image.
Is there any controversy over the translation of the hieroglyphics?
No, not to that extent. Like, scholars do argue about minor things, like how to, let's say, a word. This is just an example. I'm just pulling it from my head. Let's say the word is translated to how, and someone might say, yeah, but shouldn't it be like translated to living space rather than house? And someone says, yeah, I think it should be villa, not just house or living space. So those are the types of discussions that go on. There is no like questions about the story as it's being detailed, like what it is about. There is no question that it's about an obelisk and the names of the places and such. That's so this carving from Deir al-Bali was discovered in the early part of the 1800s.
Okay, and my last clarifying question, okay, because what I was asking about was the pyramids directly. Did this obelisk end up at the pyramids?
No, so that's what I was saying, that this obelisk this is later on in the period, and that is why I brought up the papyri of Merer, because what he writes in what's detailed in the papyri that was his diary is him and his work team transporting stone from the quarries in Sinai to Khufu's pyramid.
Wouldn't there be more accounts?
I mean, not necessarily. We have to remember that this is 4,600 years ago. It's a very, very long period of time. The fact that this is the oldest papyri, because papyri is, and they used mainly papyri. If it wasn't like for monuments and had a religious or such like something important for the administration, it wasn't written on stone, or it was mainly written on papyri or clay tablets, that like a frame with loose clay, so it's not preserved. And papyri is very, very fragile. So the fact that this has remained is marvelous. It's just.
So aside from a guy's recounting of taking granite from Aswan into Egypt, there is no image of a boat that can handle the stones that went to the pyramid.
I mean, which one do you think is heavier, an obelisk or a single stone?
Yeah, so an obelisk.
You're ignoring the premise of my question. You're ignoring the premise of my question.
No,
I didn't.
listen. No, wait.
No, I'm
Wait,
talking
wait,
to Aiden.
Let's
Okay,
let
okay.
Deviant finish what she was saying, though.
So that's why I was pointing out before that an obelisk is many, many times the size of and the weight of a one of the stones in the Great Pyramid.
That's not okay. Granted, fine, all good and well, but that goes outside and around my question, which was specifically an image of a boat that transported stone to the pyramid.
I get your question. And that was what I tried to find, because I have an image in my head of that. I cannot swear 100% that there is an image, like a carving. I think there is. I have a memory of it. I'm not sure, and I couldn't find it. What we can say is that the stone was transported there. We know that they used the Nile, and they used boats to transport stones that are much, much larger and much, much heavier than one of the stones in the pyramids, by boat. We know that. And we also know that there was a guy who details, like, today on this date, we went to yada, 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 and unloaded this amount of stone for the building of the pyramid of the great King Khufu. So yeah, that's what I, and this is an image of, but this is different because this isn't on water.
I have a question for you, Dustin. And
shoot,
real quick before I ask it, I'm just going to preface it by saying that I often see this brought up as a point by people who are skeptical over the building of the pyramids, or at least skeptical of the building of it as it's presented in mainstream. Not that it is your position, but do you think that it would be impossible to build the Great Pyramids, or at least transport the blocks for the Great Pyramids, with pre-industrial technology?
I think it would be impossible to lift the blocks with pre-industrial technology. I don't think it's impossible to transport them, but that's beyond and besides my point.
You have to lift something in order to transport it, don't you? At least over water, you have to lift it.
We should also remember that we do experimental archaeology, which is when you try out, if you have a hypothesized idea of how something is done, you then test it by doing the act the way that you think it was done. Those things has also been done. Not that I know of. I'm not sure that it has been done with a boat specifically, but
I gotta drop out, guys.
Oh, well,
I'll come back later, though.
Just for
take
1
care,
second.
Dustin. If I'm not here when you come back, you take care.
Okay, just for one quick
good
second
to hear you.
before you drop out, Dustin, I just showed this on the screen here. This is an obelisk that's currently in Istanbul, and it was brought from ancient Egypt.
You're gonna tell me about the weight.
Well, and yeah, about how heavy it is, and about how the fact that it was literally brought not over just the Nile River, which is how
I never mentioned weight.
Let me just finish. I'm just saying both size and weight are way bigger on this thing. Every dimension that makes something difficult to transport is upscaled with this obelisk. And with pre-industrial technology, they were able to bring this thing all the way from Egypt across the Mediterranean to Istanbul. So
Irregardless and irrelevant of my question. It's not even relevant. I'm not referencing the weight. I never referenced the weight. I did reference size, but not weight.
Yeah, the size of this thing, Dustin. Do you think that this thing is smaller than a block that made up any of the blocks?
Not the premise of my question. It's not even relevant to my question. I never brought up weight.
You just brought up size. I just said size. I didn't say anything about weight. I just said, is this thing or is this thing not larger in size than one of the blocks that made up the Great Pyramid? Because this thing is, look at the people underneath it. Look at the people. They're there for scale. This thing's fucking...
You are establishing a predicate, not the thesis or the premise of my question. The premise of my question went to the image, not the size or the weight, but the image.
Okay, well...
You are completely irrelevant.
Actually, I asked you whether or not you thought they could be moved with pre-industrial technology, and you said that they couldn't be moved with pre-industrial technology.
I said I didn't think they could be lifted. And what I meant was as high... And what I meant was as high as the King's Chamber. Look, I gotta go, guys. I'll catch you later.
Okay, take care, Dustin.
Take care.
Like, you just keep going, that's not relevant, that's not relevant. It's like, I'm trying to address the things that you're bringing up. If everything that I'm saying is just totally irrelevant, then we just must be having two entirely parallel conversations to each other then. I don't know.
Maybe. We can close that one.
Yeah, get rid of that shit. We don't need none of that around here. No, but
no, I was about to look up the weight of an obelisk, but as that wasn't of interest,
I just like, how are those things irrelevant? How is the size and the weight of these objects irrelevant to the query that you're making? Like, are you really just asking about the image for the sake of the image, Dustin? Or are you asking about the image because you're trying to make a broader point? I feel like it's the latter.
I mean, I would say either it's interest. Just I'm curious.
I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. I meant to mute, and then I totally clicked the wrong spot, and I threw you out for a second. I was like, "Oh shit!" Did I just shut the show down? But no. I'm really competent at this, guys. I promise.
No, but either just curious, or there is an underlying query there. Exactly what that is, I should say, not he, we didn't get to, but yeah, so I mean, there are it's very difficult to, in a very short amount of time, and also like on the fly, trying to dig up, because I have so many books and papers and all of the things, and they are kind of spread out, but for me to access them like that isn't always easy, and that's why I have to prepare for tomorrow, so that I don't have to take a lot of time, and like just trying to come up with. The first was, where is that carving? It's Deribari. Is it Deribari? No, maybe. And my brain is kind of fried at that point.
It's such a great commentary on, and I hate to say this just because, Achilles and Steven have been pretty nice lately, but it is true. the stuff that you guys are putting out on your channel about ancient Egypt, it was so much more difficult to make content responding to that than it was to make content just about that, because it's easy to make a historical claim. It's very difficult to back up a historical claim and verify it. So
yeah, and there is and like I like, as everyone knows, it's kind of obvious for everyone, I love talking about ancient Egypt.
What?
But there is a difference talking about it. So if we take the thingamajig that you and I respond to, that the Proverbs guys had put out about Egypt, it's such a different way of thinking and looking at things that at some point it feels futile to even try, because naturally you can take one single evidence of something and throw it out and say, yeah, but it's not 100%. It's not.
Right.
I'm not as sure about that answer as I am that I'm asking the question. And you can do that, and you should question information. You have to question information. And what I'm trying to do is just point out that we don't have the evidence of why we think Khufu was the builder of the Great Pyramid, and why we say it's a tomb is not dependent on one single point of evidence. It's what you see when you have the entire the wide spectrum of multiple points of evidence. That's why I brought up the papyri of Merer to Dustin here, to show that archaeology isn't the way it's portrayed, especially when it comes to like okay, if I get too much, I'll be quiet.
I'm just trying to portray a realistic depiction of
I need to hear my voice now. I've never turned my voice in a while.
I was just trying to do the Indiana Jones theme so that people knew what real archaeology was, as opposed to what you're talking about, right? It belongs in a museum. So do you. From the beginning.
I know.
No, don't you dare apply that to yourself. Don't you?
Okay. I won't. No, but oftentimes, and I've said this to Sut many times. It's annoying to me when you watch documentaries, and as I said, this is in pseudo archaeology, or if you want to call it alternative archaeology and alternative history, and that sort of thing. That's going to be prevalent, but specifically, even so, in like fact-based, proper the educational documentaries about archaeology in ancient Egypt and so forth, the way it's presented is oftentimes that, oh, here we have this person, they go out, we're gonna look at this spot, this place in the desert.
Hey, everybody, it's my turn. Everybody, how about you listen to my voice? I'm sorry, you just pissed me off.
They found a wall carving. And from that they can tell yada yada yada, and they draw like the conclusion that we have come to after hundreds of years of studying this, thousands of data points
Deviant.
that all points to one answer.
Let me
And
ask you something,
it's sad. It's
Let me ask you something though. Let me ask you
okay.
something. Did that statue have a multicolored coat? Yes or no? Yes or no?
I mean, yeah.
Oh, it did. Oh, it did. So now we
Yeah.
need to just throw that out and act like that's just completely irrelevant, right? Like that just doesn't even matter at all. Oh, okay, fine. Yeah.
It's like I was eyeing through a paper the other day, and so there was the general subject were the development of funerary practices in ancient Egypt from like prehistoric time to the Greco-Roman era.
Sounds fucking fascinating.
It is.
No, it is. It's very fascinating. You just
and
said
I
something
saw
earlier.
images of
I'm all salty.
the step pyramid of Djoser and his funerary complex, and I was reminded of that video that you and I reviewed.
Yes.
About how it was booths where they took up like wrote down how much grain each person had the right to, and it's like, sure, if you just find in a black hole, you suddenly, and I don't mean a black hole, an empty
like in a
space,
vacuum, basically. Like
in a
with no
vacuum,
external
exactly.
illumination.
Yeah, you suddenly come across the remnants of a building where you can clearly see it. It's not like spots in the ground. It's actual walls. You can say, oh, this is it's a bedroom, and this is where they knitted cardigans for the poor. And someone would then say, yeah, I'm not sure that's it. And to then be called like a fraud or a pseudo archaeologist because you say, I don't think that's true, that would obviously be a huge overstep and unfair and frankly just bullshit. But that's not the reason. That's not the reason. We don't negate those claims based on like
But that's how it's
absolutely
endlessly
nothing.
portrayed, right? Like it's always portrayed like these good Christian archaeologists around here, like, oh, hey guys, I just wanted to let you know that we found definitive evidence of the Bible, and there's no way that you could possibly disprove that. And all these other archaeologists are like frothing at the mouth, like, no, we must disprove that idea, even though our entire academic field was founded on the basis of proving the Bible right. No.
No. And like most people are religious of some sort. The vast majority are Christian,
Or Muslim.
Jewish, or Muslim, and they all believe in what we call the Old Testament. They don't all hold to, I mean, depending on denomination and so forth, not all of them hold to it having to be firmly set, like a history book, of course. But all of them believe in it. And a lot of people who aren't religious believe in it to some extent. They might not believe that the belief in it as it is, in the God claims and so forth,
right,
are correct, but they believe those things happen.
I mean,
So it stands to reason that we are not. First of all, if anyone found evidence that said that this is true, the step pyramid of Djoser is not at all his tomb and an important step in the development towards the Great Pyramid, but it is in fact the grain quarries of Joseph.
yeah.
That I mean, Howard Carter is famous. He's world famous. That wouldn't cover it even close. I mean, it would be
paradigm shifting.
Yeah, would be monumental.
But I think the fundamental
completely.
the fundamental issue at play here is the fact that it's an attempt at someone's clicking. I can hear somebody clicking there in the background.
That was me.
No, it's all good.
You're
You're always out here hot micing it, Dean. You're always hot micing. I think the fundamental issue at play there is the idea that we need to have a post hoc explanation for all of these events that are there in the story. Because if you take the Bible to be literally true, it's not a matter of going, okay, well, this might have happened or might not have happened. No, if you believe the Bible, then it's unquestionably an event that historically took place. So when you're someone like Kent Hovind or you're someone like Ron Wyatt and you're trying to make justifications for your biblical worldview, you're going to start with a conclusion and work your way back from that conclusion. And that's just the exact opposite of what you're supposed to do, archaeologically speaking. Like if you can justify so many wonky narratives if you do that. If I wanted to convince people that water a few thousand years ago was purple instead of blue, and that everybody used to just go around sailing on giant oceans of grape juice all day long, then I could go like, oh, well, look at what Herodotus says about the wine-colored sea. And look at what Virgil says in the Aeneid about the wine-colored sea. Look at all these people comparing the water to this wine color. It must have been purple back in the day. Because
makes sense.
So, yeah, right? But that's just a great example of if you start with a conclusion and try to make history fit your conclusion, you can make all kinds of wonky bullshit make sense if you have a narrative.
Exactly. Exactly. Which is why we take what is known. We go from the unknown to the known. I'm sorry. We go from the known to the unknown, not the other way around. I said it the other way around at first because I'm me. I've always been upside down and outside in.
Aw, you love a little scamp. It's all right. No worries.
No, from the known to the unknown, meaning we
Dustin
take
is back.
evidence. Oh, Dustin!
Welcome back, Dustin.
Welcome back.
You. This guy over here.
Dustin's coming in hot. Dustin's coming in hot. I can feel the warmth from the radiation from the freaking, what was it? No, it wasn't the Devonian. That freaking asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs. I bet they felt a giant wave of
I am doing my level-headed best not to yell right now, okay? What are you talking about? Did we not just go over the whole idea of not having a single image of a stone that went to the freaking pyramids? Are you serious? But that happened because of the totality of the events? Okay.
No, you're right. You know what? It makes more sense that aliens did it. You're right. It makes more sense that aliens came here and they lifted it all up.
Your hypocrisy is so hard. It is so hard. Your hypocrisy is so hard. I can't deal with it. It's so hard.
Justin, what is your explanation for how the pyramids were built where they were?
I don't have one.
We do know. I mean, sure, and people can be what's the word when oh damn it, is it solipsist?
I'm sorry, I left the room.
I'm not sure.
I left the room for a
Basically-
moment and you ceased to exist. Now that you exist again, what are you talking about? Sorry.
Do you mean skeptical?
No. I think it's solipsism, where your worldview is basically built on the notion that beyond me existing, I can't say anything.
Isn't
about
it exostationalism?
No, solipsism covers that. It's basically the idea that nothing beyond me actually exists, or at the very least, that
Yeah,
I
like,
cannot
I
prove
can
that anything
touch-
beyond my person.
I can touch myself and I have evidence of me existing. I accept that, but I don't. That's why Aidan did the thing about
Leaving the room.
I left the room and you no longer exist. So, and I'm not saying that's what you're doing, Dustin, even though I don't know if it's not. I think it might.
What
be
I'm not
bordering
doing
on
is
that.
well, there's definitely some question. If anything, I'm being solipsist to the idea that man knows what the hell happened. Okay, because
Okay.
you will have the utmost of scrutiny to anything that comes out of the Bible, but you'll just imply, based on the totality of the situation, that the pyramids were born the way we assert. I'm sorry, there's a logical problem there.
There's loads of different contentions about how the pyramids were made. It's not just one
Yeah.
universal consensus about how the pyramids were assembled. There's multiple different schools of thought on it.
Yeah.
Well, but that's
I mean,
that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant to the universe
No.
of this
No,
conversation.
but yeah, it's relevant to the point that you just made, because the point that you just made was to highlight this narrative that supposedly exists, where we just wholeheartedly buy into this idea because we've just been told a certain narrative of how things played out, and we just
Isn't
uncritically
it?
buy in. No, it's not. If we just uncritically bought into it, then how is that the case? How could that be the paradigm when the actual paradigm is that there are multiple different schools of thought with different competing ideas on how this came
Because
about? How can we
because
just
you out and out reject anything that comes out of the Bible, and there's more evidence for that than there is any stones being moved by water to the pyramid.
stones being moved by water is one of the theories of how it was done. It's not the only one.
Right.
But so let me ask you this then. So if the evidence is the Bible, that's a written text, and I showed a written text which tells us that
That said nothing about the pyramids. Said nothing about the
Yes,
pyramids.
it did. Yes, it did. It says, I mirror the overseer, I said foreman, but he's an overseer, which is the same thing. For this team of builders are transporting stone from this quarry in Sinai to the pyramid of the great king Khufu. And I even showed where on the papyri you can see the name Khufu, and I spelled it out.
She did do all that.
That would be really swell, except it's not an image.
Oh my God, Dustin!
There is no image of anything that happened in the Bible either until the medieval times.
I'll tell you what, Dustin. I'll get the 4K footage of them.
There is
putting
a
the
text
pyramids
about
together
it,
ready for you.
and I show
I'll get
you
that
a
for you.
text too. So I don't see how I'm being hypocritical.
Because if I say that Jesus rose from the dead, you're going to tell me it never happened. Because there's no pictures, there's no evidence, right? There's only testimony, right? Because there's only testimony. right?
No. I won't say there aren't any pictures. There aren't. Of course, there aren't, and I wouldn't expect there to be either. I say I don't believe that happened. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I say I don't believe it. And why don't I believe it? Because of the lack of evidence outside people saying decades later that they.
Right, and
That's all the evidence you have.
And Dustin is
That's it.
moving
That's
the
all you have to assert your
because
side
he's
of the
asking.
story.
No,
because he's
there
asking-
isn't. There's a guy saying in the moment while the pyramid is being built, is saying that we also know that the pyramid is built.
Yeah, that's true. That's a
And
little self-evident. That's a little.
Yeah, so somehow they got the stone there. And
Clearly
also,
they did.
the majority is just the casing of the pyramid that is granite. All of the other, the rest of the pyramid.
Don't. Be careful what you're saying here.
So the casing, the what's the word? The sarcophagus and the ceiling in the king's chamber is made out of granite. The rest is limestone.
Is limestone. Yes, this is true.
Yeah. And the limestone is taken from the quarry that we have found that is just next to the pyramid.
In the category of my question, there is no image showing the method, the transport, the delivery, the acceptance. There's not one image.
There isn't an image that we have preserved. I'm just trying to explain why, and I said this before when you were here earlier, that we might not have an image of it. And there are various, as Aidan pointed out, there are various hypotheses about the exact point, like.
There's schools of thought that say that it wasn't just transported by boats, but that the blocks themselves were hydraulically lifted with water. That the water.
I didn't say anything about that.
But no evidence. We're just pointing out that there are multiple theories about how it was constructed, but then there are also things that are like absolute evidence. But we have to remember that anything that happened prior to here and now is going to be
questionable.
Yeah.
And I have to ask.
Even you, when you think about yesterday, Dustin, even you are going to. You might recall yourself doing something yesterday, but if there were a great camera in the sky, I hope, please don't be a great camera in the sky, but if there were a great camera in the sky that recorded you and you could access that photo, you might see that, no, I actually put my left shoe before my right shoe, but I was certain I put the right shoe on.
Memory is fickle. I agree.
So there is going to be those types of questions, and naturally, the further back in history you go, those questions become.
Except for when it comes to floating rocks down the Nile, though, right? We know that happened. No image, but we know it happened. Not a boat. We don't have any boat.
All right. I'm literally muting. I'm literally muting everybody else for a second. Okay. That has already been addressed. That is one possible theory of how things happened. We never said it was the definitive truth of how it happened. Also, you keep asking for an image, but I'm going to ask you this, and I would appreciate it if you could answer it when I unmute. But whether you think that is the only evidence that you need, is what Deviant presented to you evidence of the claim that she is making? Yes or no? Is it evidence?
It's evidence of a different claim for a different question.
It is evidence that there were activities taking place in regards to the building of the pyramid that aligned with the ideas that you were expressing. It wasn't an image. I agree that it wasn't an image, but the idea that an image is the only form of evidence that you're going to accept here seems extremely arbitrary to me.
I never said that. You're straw manning me there.
Well, then why
I would accept other forms of image, but
insisting upon an image as evidence? Why is an image?
Because that was the original question, and you guys are ignoring it.
No, I'm asking you, why is that the criteria, Dustin?
I'm not feeling like I'm ignoring it. I've said that no, I don't think there is an image of.
I exclude you from that statement.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, but guys, I think you. I think that.
Wait. I need to go because I really need to do some research for.
Well, hold on a second before you leave. Do you understand the reason I'm asking the question the way I'm asking it? Do you understand that?
I think I do. Yes, I think I do.
Okay. Because we've carved images of people into the stone. And if we're going to carve images of people into the stone, but we don't have one image of stones being delivered, that just seems strange to me.
Why don't we have any images?
I understand that. And my count, I fully understand that, Dustin. And I think your question, as it is absolutely valid. I'm glad that you ask questions. And you should ask questions. So that's why I'm happy to try and answer them the best I can. And as I said, if I find such an image, I would
really gratefully appreciate being shown. Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Cool. I gotta shut things down here myself anyways, because I've got to go and take care of something. So this has been a good show, though. I'm sure we can pick this back up again the next time I have a show. Not sure if I'm going to have one on Monday or not. It really depends on how things work out with me, but we'll definitely be having one later on in the week at the very least. So thank you very much to everybody that tuned into the show. Thank you, Dustin, Deviant, Big Bad Mama,
much love,
Achilles, everybody that showed up and everybody that came in the side chat as well. Claude, Spooky, all of you guys. Take care and have a great day.
Brianna grabbed him by the balls.
Bye.
Bye.